Right. Hello, hello, hello. I believe we are live. Okay, so this is the Fast Track FBA weekly support call to help you guys in your business. And wow, if you've got questions, do drop it down below. I'm just going to check you live. If you're here, just say hi. That'd be really good. And I'll do a little bit of a selfie. Say, hey, I'm on screen. So just let me know. I will just check. The Facebook group, I think, maybe had a problem with it. So I want to just make sure that actually it's working. And if you're here, drop a hi. Obviously, if you guys have got questions, anything you want to ask about your Amazon business, feel free to ask. And the reason why I say that is just for the fact that obviously I can talk about my business, but I really want to be here helping you and answering your questions. So we do a Q&A, so we say hi. So Leo Ace has said hi. If anyone else is here, do just drop a hi down below. And obviously, guys, if you've got questions, anything I can help you with, please do let me know. So I'm going to quickly check. Drop your questions down below. Yeah, I think I can see I'm live on there. Fantastic. And I'll just quickly check YouTube. Well, actually, YouTube I can see is on here, but I will just double check. I always like to make sure what's happening. So any questions, Q1, VAs, Q2, anything, USA, UK, Amazon arbitrage, preferably I can kind of give you some updates on that as well. Anything else, but that's the area that I kind of specialize in. So give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to check if YouTube is working. Ask me anything. Hey, we're live. Hey, good. And like, hey, this is a live video of Tom on his phone. Not at all. So obviously, if you've got questions, drop them down below. But I'll kind of jump onto some things. So what's going on in our business? Not really too much. We've got a second prep center for the USA. We just found, so that's something we've been doing. So second prep center for the USA. We just found that actually our existing prep center got hit by COVID. They had some real problems, and we've just now onboarded a second prep center and gone through the whole process of finding one, and then also as well, like. Doing that, so we'll have two more kind of load balance between them, and then the UK is fine. The UK, we're just kind of doing like manpower planning for this year. So, you know, we've got 4 purchases now for the UK, and we're looking at like money. We're looking at like how to spend that money and what we're doing over the next year. So like writing the budgets, making sure that's good. We're also doing what's known as our profit improvement plan, and we'll kind of release some information about that in my January or my February update. So that's going well. There's lots of different things, so I'll kind of jump into your questions. So here we go. Hello, Bozheda. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. But hello, great to meet you. Any questions, let me know down below. Leo Ace has said looking to get a VA to scale. So Leo, if there's any questions in particular around getting a VA, maybe you're not sure about, do let me know. Obviously, what I will say is you can do it yourself. Of course, you can absolutely do that. You know, that's how I did it originally. If you want just top tips about VA yourself, 2 things. When we first started, the majority of our hiring was onlinejobs.ph. It costs about £70, I think it is, to create a job post up there. And then the other one is create a contract. If you want, go to Fast Track FBA YouTube channel, look at like how to hire a VA or something. There's a free downloadable content in one of the videos all around VAs. I think I was in the Philippines at the time, so if it's about me in the Philippines, look in the description. You'll see a link to get a free copy of the contract. So it's a very similar contract we use in ours, and that's just going to help you out. So you can do it that way, or if you're looking for a manual sourcing VA for online arbitrage, do look at the Fast Track FBA VA Academy. We find, hire, train, and support you for 12 weeks with a VA to get results, and that's $597 or $847 US dollars, and we do that, and we've done over 400 videos, so we know what we're doing. But again, up to you. You can have a look, and also you can book in a free call with my team if you want to. So let's kind of jump through. Great question, Leo, by the way. Thank you. Harminder. Hi, Tom. Hey, Harminder. Good to see you. How's life? Jake said, how much capital would you recommend for hiring a VA? Top tip, we say about £4,000 minimum. Probably recommend up to closer to 10 if you can get that. If you're doing US dollars, call it 5,000, preferably like 10, 12 thousand US dollars. And what do I mean by that? Well, either you've got it in your bank pretty much every week, just sat there doing nothing, i.e. you're spending the money, and every week you look at it on the Friday and go, hey, there's still another 4 grand there, or 10 grand, great. Or you're going to have a credit card that you've got 10 grand, for example, to be able to put on it. Basically it's available to capital. So but 4 to 5,000, £4,000, 5,000 US minimum. Ideally around about the 10 mark. That's where you want to be. If you've got more than 10, like you probably just get another VA. So I wouldn't worry. But I think that's kind of 10's about what we asked our community, and the majority of them said around about 10k, and I would agree with that. I think that's good. 4 would be the minimum. If you've got a couple of thousand, it's not worth it. By the time you've paid for the cost of service, paid for the salary, spent all that money on the stock, you won't be able to spend enough money on the stock to make profit to cover their costs and grow your business. It will actually be a detriment. So just be mindful of that. Jake, if there's anything else you want to know about that, let me know down below. Right. Hello all, Chev here. Fantastic. Obviously, hope everyone is well. We are well. We're good. Obviously, I'm in Mexico and the sun is shining. Look at that. It's too bright. It's far too bright. Anything I can help you, Chev, let me know down below. Okay, Finlay. Do you know of any other than Do you know of any other than Fast Track FBA VA service in the UK? So you're basically saying any other VA Academy hiring services. There are. I'd probably say post in some other groups if you are interested. I don't know them off the top of my head. And a couple of top things I would just kind of ask is, top thing, anyone can hire a VA. That's absolutely fine. Like, my God, any man and his dog can hire a VA. That's easy. Finding a good VA and actually supporting you with a VA is what you're really after. The idea isn't about when things go right, it's about when things go wrong and how do they support you. So if you are looking at another service, do ask the questions about how are you going to help me grow my business? How is your VA going? What happens when things go wrong? What does the communication look like? That's the important point. So do that. I don't know them off the top of my head, unfortunately. Also, I'm aware of them, but I don't know them. But if you are interested, have a look at another thing. And I appreciate some other people do that. We are not the only service training provider. But just look at the support. That's my advice. And obviously track record. So Tarsis. When I buy a product at stores like Walmart and Amazon asks for an invoice, what should I do? Give them the Walmart invoice, honestly. What's Amazon looking for? Okay, so 2 things. If Amazon asks for an invoice for getting ungating, Walmart will not work because Walmart is not a legitimate supply chain for trade sales, i.e. like wholesaler, distribution, or manufacturer. They are not that, but Walmart is still legitimate supply chain for supply of products that are legitimate. So Amazon accepts that Walmart are buying legitimate products, i.e. Walmart are not buying fakes. And when you get that email, when you get that message from Amazon, like, hey, you've got an IP complaint, you sold as new, or like authenticity in question, you can provide that invoice. And I reckon like 99 out of 100 times it's worked fine. And where it hasn't worked is because we've not done something in the comments. But like, we've never had a problem with them, like Walmart, Asda, all those kind of things. So it should be fine. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments down below. Amit. Hi, Thomas. I'd like to know the process to buy a product. We check 1 to 2 days manually if the product sells and the supplier is out of stock. We don't know what to do. I'm guessing you're like... But I'm guessing obviously you find a product and then you buy it. But I'm guessing you're saying something with like VAs or something. So it's like they find a product and then 1 to 2 days later you're then buying the product. If the product sells and has that stock. So it says you're 1 to 2 days you're buying the product. So my question for you is that you're identifying a problem in regards to your speed of operations. So decrease the speed. And it looks like you're doing something like whereby you're waiting 1 to 2 days to see what the sales on Amazon are doing. I assume, not the supplier. So my top tip would be start learning about how to read sales rank, to keep a chart chaining, and that will give you the confidence you need to know. So you should I can look at any product and go, keep us this. Here's how it's been over time. Yeah, cool. I'm happy with that. Let's buy 400, for example. So that'd be my advice. I know I can see some more comments coming in, so I'll answer that in a minute. But I think that hopefully makes sense. Carlos. Hey, Tom. Last Monday, you mentioned about getting 2 IP complaints in a week, and then you fight and clear all of them. What system do you have in place? So we use a service called sellerbasics.com. Check them out. It's about $100. Okay, number 1, we actually buy from not like eBay secondhand. We buy from obviously like Walmart, for example. There's no problem. So we do have legitimate supply chain invoices, and we chase the invoices like you'd never believe. My team are really good at them. Then number two is the fact that whenever we get the IP complaint, we send it off to them. They'll write us the custom report. We'll also send them the invoice as well. They'll write it, and then all my team do is copy paste into Amazon Seller Central, add the invoice, from Walmart, for example, and we've got them removed. I think right now we have, we do 400,000 in December, and it's been growing, and we've got, I think, no IP complaints in the UK, which I'm really happy about. In the USA, we've got 2, but we're in the process of getting them, fighting them now. So that works. Hope that makes sense, Carlos. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay. Hassan, hi Thomas. I just received an inauthentic complaint. Please share the solution to Amazon rejecting my invoice. I don't know why they rejected it. Top tip for you, because I could be here forever kind of giving you things, 2 things. Really read through what's Amazon's complaint to you, and then make sure that you are fully and very clearly and very specifically and very easily able to answer all those problems. You've got to think the guy on the other end has a quota to fulfill, and if you've written a big long block of text, they're going to be like, too much, no, reject. Hashtag not COVID. But if you've made it very simple, bullet point, and very addressed it in exactly the same way they've asked it, it'll probably be a lot likely to go, okay, this point, yeah, this point, yeah, this point, yeah, cool, yeah, that's good, tick, next one. So that's the Seller Central guy. And then also just make sure you do have a legitimate invoice. So like if it's Walmart, it's not like the delivery note, it's an actual, invoice receipt from that. And we're not talking about paper receipts, we're talking about something legit. Worst case scenario, what I'd really recommend is take your inauthenticity complaint, email, take your evidence, and share it on one of the Facebook groups and ask them for feedback. And people will kind of tell you where you're off. That's my thing. It's really hard to diagnose on a thing. And hey, I'm not even saying I'm an expert. My God, I know I'm not an expert. What do? I go pay for another service. They deal with it for me. Problem solved. So yeah, but we know the concept. When you find a profitable product, do you buy immediately or do you manually check? Oh my God, no, we buy immediately. My God, I'd be there. We spend like 100,000 US a week in our UK business, £100,000. Well, we try to when we got enough deals. We couldn't wait. We'd just be there forever. It's not worth it. It's too slow. So buy straight away. I think that's coming back to your question. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Cool. I see you right. Yeah, exactly below. Hi, Tom. Leo. Hi, Tom. Do you get worried about prep centers getting the labeling incorrect? No. Interesting enough, I've interviewed a few people who are very particular about their prep. And when they outsourced for a prep center, what they actually found is that the prep center was better than them, and they were particular about it. So what you got to think about is the prep center just does one job, and they're very systematized, and they do it probably to a very high standard. I went and saw Kev Blackburn in the UK at Systemized Fulfillment. My God, like every single stage of that whole prep process is videotaped. That's quality control. That's incredible. If he misses a label, you can go get the video and show you that label went on, or prove that it didn't go on, and also improve the staff training. I think they do it to a higher standard than we do, and they're set up to do that. And I think it's going that way. The prep centers are getting better and better. Why? Because we spend years building a reputation, and that if we get it wrong, we can lose it overnight. All it takes is a couple of Facebook comments. This prep center's crap. They're not doing my labeling. Oh yeah, I've had that as well. I've had that as well. Don't use them. It's just not worth it. So we're very standards driven now, and we're seeing that because of the community, the online community. So no. Long story short, no, I don't. Right, Chev. How do you deal with Amazon shipping reimbursements when Amazon insists you didn't send the item in? Even provide them with HD video and correctly addressed invoice, but they hardly ever reimburse you. I think you're just going to have to go back and fight. If you're going to ask me, there's a really interesting one which I think I saw the other day on one of my things. It was something like Amazon checked in 0. We only shipped one item, and Amazon checked in 0. We asked for a reclaim, and they said no, it didn't happen. I was like, well, do you think we shipped an empty box then? That sounds stupid. I don't know the short answer because it's not very easy, but I do think what you need to think about is trying to find the message, make it super clear why they should reinvestigate it, maybe re-raise it through a different case, something else. If I had to guess, and I'm not an expert at this, I would probably go look at something like, there's like an IP group in the US, run by ASTG, I think it's something like that. ATSG. Amazon seller. Sorry, I'm just going to do it. Yeah, ASGTG, Amazon seller performance rights issue. Is a guy called what's his name? Run by Ed, I think it is. Don't quote me. Ed Rosenberg. He's from New York. I'd probably just recommend posting. There seems to be got a good sellers, and I'm sure they'll have a good thing. He's quite a big believer in like fighting. So I'd probably just kind of post like, does anyone have any top tips there? Again, it's just a battle with Amazon. It is, and I think you're gonna have to keep going back and forth and figure out what works. And top tip for you is, it might be the case that when you're like trying to re-raise another case, you kind of be a bit deceptive. Are you like, I'm not saying you should definitely do this, but like, instead of putting the shipping ID as the whole one, maybe put a space in between so that the Autobot doesn't detect it, and then it actually goes to humanize and someone who's a bit intelligent. So I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that answer is the best answer, even what you should do, but I might try it once or twice and see what happens. But it's certainly something which we're looking at as well internally. So I hope that makes sense. Hammett. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, exactly. Cool. Glad I could answer that question. Carlos, I did try Seller Basics, but I'm finding that the rate in which they resolve the issues is slower than the rate at which I get IPs. They keep on piling up. Also, one of the founders just resigned. Yeah, I think top tip for you, I'd probably just ask the question, why are you getting so many IPs so quickly? The way we approach the problem is, at a very fundamental level, we try and reduce it's prevention first, and then we look at the Seller Basics as, once it's happened, we're minimizing the impact of them. But I would probably look at your processes and say, actually, maybe you should be looking at preventing them. Fast Track FBA brand checker, if you're in the USA, there's a Chrome extension called IP Alert. You can pay for that as well. I think it's a lifetime $100, quite cool. There's lots of these little things. So do check them out. I think that's going to be really helpful for you. But I think prevention, I could be here forever trying to do possible solutions, but I think prevention would be the better one. Harminder, we recently purchased a VA from yourself. VA hasn't started yet. I don't think we need to prepare ready for that VA. Right, top tip for you, come join me for the VA Academy live group call in about 3 hours. Go to the Fast Track FBA VA Academy group, and the link will be there to the private Zoom. But long story short, like, come join, have a chit chat, see what everyone else is doing. But the VA Academy team from Fast Track FBA will really support you in that, i.e., like, they'll tell you what you need to do at what times, and we've got lots of videos to explain it. So generally speaking, the call that I do in about 3 hours time is for when you're having problems, and I'm there to help you. But the majority of people don't need it, because the information we share is pretty on point, and we know what to do. And we've got the aftercare care team, who are not only there to support you if you get problems, but also they're checking your VA to see if there's problems before you even tell us. So we'll do what's known as proactive monitoring. So don't worry, I think you'll be fine. But if you want, come join. Fine. Hope that makes sense. Right. Similar, had an authenticity complaint recently, which the invoice wasn't accepted, and they asked for a supply chain invoice, which the company, of course, didn't provide. Can you let me know who the supplier was that you bought it from? Yeah, I think maybe we had one of them, and we did manage to provide it, or they provided proof that they were a legitimate supply chain. Amazon might be changing the way they operate. I don't know. I really don't know. Just let me know who the supplier was. But I think maybe it might be worth going back and trying to tweak. Don't copy and paste your message. Really rechange it and try again. We've not had that problem. We've not had it. But I understand the pain when you get it and you're like, yeah, whatever. Walmart's going to show me the supply invoice. That ain't happening. So it could be the case that the supplier you purchased from is like a really unknown supplier, and that could be the problem. But yeah, I'm sorry. Like, I don't think of myself as an expert. Unfortunately, I don't know the answers. I can only talk about my experience or what I see or hear. Hammett, thanks, Tom. I just bought 10 items for $500, and Helium was saying it sells 1 per day, but since 4 per day there is no sale. How do you manage this? Oh wow, okay, cool. Yeah, my God, stop relying on the tools. Learn to rekeeper. My God, just type in Fast Track FBA into YouTube and write keeper, and I've got like a 3-part mini series which talks to you about how to read it, how to rekeeper. I really recommend learning that. And then number 2, search in like 3 ways. Fast Track FBA go on like estimate sales into fast track FBA thing, there's a video called 3 Ways to Estimate Sales, and you can do it. Top tip for you is helium 10 saying this sells 1 item per day, that's 30 per month, and then you're getting no sales. So it could be the case you're not on the buy box. There's lots of that. Also, there's another video released. It's like, why am I not getting sales? How to diagnose it. And we go through, I think it's like 4 different steps to identify, which will kind of help you do this as well. Watch that YouTube video as well. We talk about, have you predicted it wrong? I.e., is it not actually selling? And also number 2, if the listing is selling, then how do you identify whether you're actually getting any of those sales or not? So, and there's a really good way you can do that with Back a House under business reports. So I'd recommend watching those videos. Long story short, you're trying to identify, is the listing selling? Yes or no. If it is, am I getting any of those sales? Yes or no. And if I'm not getting any of those sales, then what do I need to do to get those sales? Long story short, probably drop your price. That's it. I know it's a pain. You spent 500 euros on a product and you think it's working, but talk about it this way. If you sell this product and break even, only get your 500 back, talk about it this way. Well, you just paid 0 for an education, which is incredible. Yes, we are here to make profits, but at the end of the day, you didn't even have to pay for that. That was all free, and you managed to test the concept with 500 euros. Annoying, but at the end of the day, it's going to help you next time when you're trying to do like 1 million, for example. So I hope that makes sense. Watch those videos. Keeper, how to estimate sales, and then why I'm not getting sales on Amazon. It'll explain it to you. Veronica, hi Tom, I'd like to know, when you started selling on Amazon, how did you do it? Did you buy so much stock you sent to FBA, or did you start with FBA? Please show how you did it. Always FBA. I was living in a 3rd floor flat in London. It was like impossible. Obviously, you buy from like Walmart, for example, ship into a warehouse, and then the warehouse ship to Amazon. They prep and consolidate. But it's always FBA. I never wanted to do FBM. I did do RA like twice, and I thought it was the most, like, no, I'm not doing this. FBM you can, I just never wanted to go down the warehouse. I'd never done the post office, especially in London. It'd be a nightmare getting it all there. So that's how I did it. I hope that makes sense. English with me. Have you experienced being temporarily deactivated due to an IP complaint in certain marketplace? Is not okay. Interesting thing. So let me just clarify for you here. I'm not an expert, but this is what my understanding is, and I understand this from a couple of sellers. Sellers who have been blocked. So when you get your account banned, what happens? When you get banned in that region, so if it's Europe, you get banned in Europe, and you can never sell in Europe again. But on the same account, you can sell in North America. A good friend of mine, Seth Baker, he's did like 1 million in books, but he's in the US, but he originally started in the UK, buying stuff from eBay, secondhand, all the fake stuff, fake DVDs, selling on eBay, and obviously got banned. So, but he now sells in the USA, but he can't sell in Europe, period. So it's the region you get blocked in. Now, I'm assuming because of that, if you get IP deactivated and your account is under suspension in UK, for example, you'll also be under suspension in the rest of that region. So that does happen. So have I had experience in it? No, we've never been deactivated, had problems. Also as well, I just assume that the IP complaints you're getting aren't like scam. You're manipulating sales ranks. Quite serious things. They obviously will probably look at you to be suspended immediately because you're a danger to the Amazon experience. That would cause suspension. But if you're getting just 1 or 2 IP complaints because of inauthentic, or not inauthentic, like used sold as new, Amazon will probably let you have a few more of them than they would if you're going to break the rules quite seriously. And the other thing which I'll say is I've seen people 15 IP complaints. It's Amazon haven't said this, but what I assume is the fact that the more revenue you're doing, the more IP complaints your account can have. If you're doing just starting, you can't have 15 complaints. That's a big problem. If you're doing 1 million a year, 15 complaints is okay, don't worry about it. So 2 things: grow your revenue, but also I know that doesn't help you now if you're suspended. But the idea is yes, you are done in a region, should we say? I hope that makes sense. Right, next one. Now the responses are usual humour, and they're hardly ever the same. I'll check the Facebook group. Cool. Glad I could help. Not a problem. And hey, what I will say is I'm not an expert. I'm really not. I'll just give you my kind of thoughts of how I'll approach it. So I don't know all the answers. I really don't. Coffee. I love coffee. My 5th cup today. Has anyone had more than 5 cups? And it's 9:30 in the morning. Veronica, is it possible to do OA in the USA even though we don't have an LLC there? Wow, great question. There's some really good, interesting news that I'm seeing recently. Look at that other group that I talked about. Yes, you can do OA in the USA without having an LLC, but there is something that has just come out very, very recently. that she said, I'm not 100% sure if I've just seen it in some groups, is that in the USA, Amazon are automatically gating lots and lots of well-known brands, so like pretty much a lot of brands, if you are not a US registered entity or a US registered person. And the reason they say for this is because they're getting so many dodgy things happening with like Chinese sellers coming in, like creating an account, trying to sell Lego, for example, that is creating a really bad experience. So what they're saying is that if you are not a US registered, what we're seeing, should we say, and this isn't exactly like, this is nowhere official, this is completely unofficial. People are seeing that they're getting automatically gated on a lot of well-known brands if they're not a US LLC. They're assuming is because they're saying actually they've seen a lot of problems with Chinese sellers coming in, screwing listings up, causing problems, especially on like private label products where they come in and do black hat tricks. And then what they say is that the result is that Amazon is just taking that a cautious approach. So short answer is yes, you can do OA in the USA without an LLC, definitely. But what seems to have happened within the last kind of like few days was that Amazon is gating a lot more. So it's going to be a lot harder for you to get started if you don't have the LLC. I hope that makes sense. Good question. Really, really good. English with me. Do those IP extensions have a good chance of showing the item makes no complaints? Yes, but again, it's always a reactive measure. So these IP extensions, so even like the Fast Track FBA brand checker, all the other brand checkers, and like the IPalert.com or IP Alert Chrome extension, they're all reactive. So what it takes is someone to get the complaint first, and then they get put on the alert system, and then obviously anyone else going forward. But if you've already got the product and they issue the alert, that's the first time the complaint comes out. Of course, you're going to get it. So that's why you've just got to be a bit careful. So again, prevention's better than cure. Look at the keeper chart. Learn how to read keeper charts properly. The new seller count is what you're really looking at. Making sure the brand's not on the listing. Making sure there's other sellers. There's a history of other sellers on it. And then obviously it's not on any kind of brand list. Prevention's better than a cure. Prevent the IP alerts, first of all. Great question. Carlos, yes, I think it's best because you sell quite a lot. 85K a month minimum. Thank you, Tom. Best of luck. Cool. Thank you very much. Hamid, I'll try and make it tonight. Fantastic. 6 p.m. UK time. Veronica, approximately how much does it cost to open an LLC in the USA? How long does it take? And how can I get an LLC open in a banking account in the USA if I'm in Mexico? Oh, you're in Mexico. I'm in Mexico. Fantastic. How much does it cost? Look for what's known as a formation agent. I think top of my head for about 500 US. They'll do the whole thing, set it up. You also want an EIN and an ITIN. EIN, employer identification number, and an ITIN, individual taxpayer's identification number. You're not going to be paying taxes, but you need to be registered for taxes to say that you're not due to pay any taxes. That's probably going to cost you another, you can do it yourself, but I think if you're going to get someone to do it for you, which I'll probably recommend, might cost you another couple of hundred US. Then on top of that, you bank account, we use Mercury, that's fine. And then the other final thing I'd probably say is just be aware of accounting costs. In the US, the cheapest I can generally find for an e-com accountant is about 1,000 US a month. So you have to do some decent volume of sales. So, what am I looking? You probably want to be looking to do at least 10K of sales minimum a month, because my God, you're going to be paying like 1,200 out just for the LLC and the accounting. So it does have a cost. So that's a minimum of 5,000 to 10,000 US you want to be starting with. So yes, you can do it, but it's not so simple. But that's just a rough guide. Don't hold me to it. I'm just really off the top of my head. Hope that makes sense. Is there a minimum number of items required by preparation? No, they do. No, a lot of them can just do very low volume, but it's up to you. Ideally, you don't want to do too little. You want to do enough to make it worthwhile. Again, come to the 10,000 minimum US dollars starting amount. I probably wouldn't want to start with less than that. English with me. Do you know of any lawyer? It's a customer complaint who tried to buy my inventory and return it. It's a very evil person wanting me out of the listing. No, I don't know any lawyer. And interesting enough, if you're in the EU, tough, really tough, because in the EU you have 30-day no questions asked return policy by law. So there's no, you'd be very struggling to prove that even if they were a competitor on your listing, they weren't buying it for their own personal consumption, even them looking to buy. You'd have to prove that wasn't the case. Not like it's insinuated, but you have to prove it. And as a result, under EU law, they'd just be like, well, look, I'm allowed to return it in 30 days. It doesn't matter. So I bought it and then I returned it all 4,000 units, and that's my right. I'm legally allowed to do that. Top tip for you, you can do something whereby you can do maximum order quantity per customer. Just learn from it, take it on the chin, and put in maximum order quantities like 2 units per customer, and that's it. They can't do it. So there you go. Hassan, how do you rate Germany and Italian for wholesale? I couldn't answer that question at all. I don't ever do wholesale in any of those countries. I have no idea. But if you want to know, I'm very, very interested this year starting on Germany. I really am. So I think it's a bigger than UK marketplace. I think it's a good opportunity. Would I do it as my primary one? I don't know. Would I do it as wholesale? No, because I don't speak the language. I just really struggle. So I'm kind of thinking. Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity. Yeah, and also you can take advantage of what's known as EFN, European Fulfillment Network. So you hold stock in Germany, and it will ship to Italy, France, and Spain. We used to be able to do it in the UK. There's a new version just come out. I'm not very good with it. I don't really know what it is right now, but in the past we used to do it. It worked, but within the European mainland, it'd be a good advantage. So yeah, you can do it. I don't know the answer really. For NGO, cool. Thank you very much. I'm sure you're trying to send me some web link, which is a bit dodgy. We shall see. Right. How often your team checking for products on the same website daily? Check will just be on sale. I don't really know. At the end of the day, I don't direct them. I don't tell them. All I care about is I'm like, hey guys, at the end of the day, what I care about is you getting products we can buy. And if that means they check the products daily, or if they check them once a year, but we get more products to buy, I'm happy. That's it. I'm really not a micromanager. I'm really not here to like tell them what to do. The way I see it is they're here to do the job. They're here to do it. If they want to check daily or yearly, it's completely up to them. I will give them advice. I'll give them feedback. I'll give them thoughts. But what I won't do is tell them what to do, because at the end of the day, they need to figure this out themselves. Because what do I care about? I don't care about the fact they turn up. I don't care about the fact they check it daily or check it yearly, or that they come and do 8 hours a day. What I care about is the result that they're delivering. And if they change the input to get a better result, cool. That's what I'm interested in. So I really don't look at, should we say, anything to do with that. I don't get into that level of detail. I don't think there's a point. I can advise, but I don't tell. We've got some no spam. Thank you very much, Dan Smith. Honestly, top marks there. Thank you. Can I block people? Well, I can block users. Cool. So, hi, are you using SourceMogul for sourcing? I've been using them while I don't see accurate results. What are your thoughts on this? No, we don't. I don't use any sourcing software, really. It's not to say it's wrong. It's fine. Really, one fundamental reason is, let's say, for example, you use SourceMogul, and let's say, for example, it gives you lots of deals, and you're like, well, hey, I'm really happy. Let's say, for example, you found a great deal today. It's making you, I don't know, £100 profit. Fantastic. And it's selling 30 units a month. You're like, well, hey, £3,000. I'm in the money. But because it's shown you that, it's also shown everyone else who has SourceMogul the same deal. So now, what if I were to tell you that SourceMogul had 1,000 customers, of which half have found that same deal? Now you're like, there's a product making me £100 profit that sells 30 units a month, but 500 other people have bought that deal. Well, even if you called it 100, and they would all buy like 10 each, that's 1,000, because it's such a good deal. Oh my God, we never just buy 10, because it's such a good deal, we'll buy more. So 1,000 units of stock now going into that listing, which sells 30 per month. Well, I promise you that £100 profit per item is no longer exist. That price is going to crash. So just at a fundamental level, I'm just not really a big believer in like everyone else having access to the deals, and sourcing VAs can kind of look and kind of understand what's going on. So software does work, and a lot of people do it very successfully. Tactical arbitrage is a really good example of that, and a lot of people do it. Just for me, I prefer using VAs. Oh, and the other reason is once you found a deal, your VAs can go back and check and look for other variations of it. It's kind of like targeted sourcing as opposed to like what the software tells me. So there's pros and cons. I'm not saying you shouldn't use it, but I don't, unfortunately. And also, when you talk about accurate results, mismatches is a very common thing with software. So it does happen. Oh my God, even with VAs, they make mismatches. It does happen. Samara, which country VAs do you guys love to hire most? Well, interesting. If you want to know, I have 62, I think, maybe like 64. I should probably check. I don't know. Once a month I check. I get an update. So 62 VAs across 3 companies, and they're all from the Philippines. Now, I'm not saying you should all hire from the Philippines, not at all. We do all the VA Academy from the Philippines. Why? Because we're good at that. We know what we're doing, and it works. If something works, don't change it. So, but people have hired from like, Ukraine, lots and lots of other places, and they will find good VAs. It does happen. I promise you that. We got to a point whereby we were just so many people from the Philippines. If we were to hire other people from other countries, we kind of questioned there would be a changing culture. i.e. like, let's say, for example, Ukraine and the Philippines. Not to say they couldn't get on, of course they could get on, but there's different cultural things within the Philippines and the Ukraine. So the net result was like, do we hire from a different country or do we continue to hire where we are? We thought we'll just hire where we are because we understand the culture, we understand it works. And so hence I've built quite a big team out in the Philippines. But there's no one size fits all, there's no right answer. Do what works for you, and that's it. So, yeah. Is it a good sourcing? Is it good sourcing to check all websites once a month for data? I tell you what, spend 1 month doing one way, see the results, spend the other month doing the other way, see the results, then you have your answer. That's what I'd say. Do you ask from website Excel prices to check them faster? No, I don't think any of the retailers would give you an Excel spreadsheet ever of their listed. It doesn't happen. They'd just be like, no. But if you could try it, I just don't think it'd work. Right, Riza, I see that prices and stock values change in Source Mogul. Even during my cost check, because that software, it's really pick product and order. How do you solve this? Well, once you found a deal, pick it and order. Exactly. Don't wait. Like, don't kind of do other stuff. Time is of the essence. Prices are changing. It might be that Source Mode will check the price 10 minutes ago, and then 5 minutes ago the price changed. And if you've got 10,000 items, they're all going to be changing all the time. It's the nature of the environment we're working. So once you found a good deal, secure the deal, buy it, get it shipped, get it sold, make some money, rinse and repeat. That's it. That's all we do. Speed is, time is money in this. Veronica, approximately how much did you invest the first time selling on Amazon? Oh, don't quote me. Do you know what the really funny thing is? And I will share this, is I think it's probably anywhere between like 10 and 20,000. Don't quote me. You see a lot of these stories where like people start off with like £500, and you can, or $500, you can do that, and I don't deny that. But what you need to understand is that they'll probably do £500, they'll probably churn it a couple of times, like buy some stock. Wow, I'm making some good money. Maybe 1,000, make it 2,000. But they get to a point, call it like 3,000 in actual cash profits, where they go, I really like this model. I now want to go faster. So what do? They then go get like a £10,000 credit card, personal one. So I'm not saying everyone does this, but I'm just saying whenever you watch these videos of people going like, I started my Amazon business with $100 and now I'm a millionaire, like, and I'm not saying that person is lying. No, not at all. But I'm just saying that when you look at their growth trajectory, it might be that they actually started super slow just to understand the model. And once they got happy with the model, they then went out and got lots of debt and used the debt to grow really fast. Because that does happen quite a lot. So, for me, what I said, look, I started with like 10, 20,000, I think it was, don't quote me, it was a long time ago, is the idea is to say that it takes, what does it say? The idea is to say that we all start at different things, but it does take time to grow. It takes time to invest and to develop it. So yes, if you start with more money, yes, you can grow quicker, but you make the assumption as well that you actually make money from that money. And I'll be honest, I lost money in my first year. So while I started with, in my first year, not my first month or anything, like, if I started with like 10,000 to start with, by the end of the first year, my accounts were showing like a minus £1,000 loss. I was just stupid. I really got drunk in Thailand. But what I think is, keep learning, and just keep processing. So that's about 4 years ago, probably 5 years now. Okay, you teach with your whole heart. Your mode of teaching creates a desire to be a person like you. Thank you for being a wonderful and super mentor. Oh, fantastic! Thank you very much. I think at the end of the day, hopefully you can see I'm not here to prove that I'm expert at all. I'm just trying to share what I'm learning, because I did that as well. And hey, I like connecting. My God, sometimes it can be a bit boring when you're traveling. But also as well, try and be as open and honest and transparent as I can. That's good. So thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Veronica, buying your fast track A1 leads, are we free from IP complaints and gated products? Short answer is no. You should have a reduction in them, but as I explained to the gentleman earlier, is that you could buy a lead today, and then tomorrow Amazon might issue a new IP complaint, and because it's in your account, that they might issue the first ever IP complaint, and then you'll get it. We don't know what Amazon's going to do. That's the long story short. In regards to gated products, you can buy a lead. Obviously, check it straight away in your account. If it's, you can see if you are gated, you can get a refund on the lead straight away. We refund you, no questions asked. But I hope that helps. So let's kind of jump on. Project Santex. Are you able to deep dive into Keep It in a future videos? And what is your advice as far as reverse sourcing to products? You should have watched my we do quite a few. There's this like a beginner, intermediate, and advanced or expert level. I think is keeper training in my YouTube videos. Check that out. Go to the playlist. Look at keeper as a keeper playlist. Check that out. That should help you. I'm going to record some more, but it'll probably be like about 2 months' time. Just so I've got some traveling I want to get done first. And then the other one, in regards to reverse sourcing, there's a video I did. My God, reverse sourcing we do all the time. There's a video. I do lots of videos. I think we're going to release one which is called storefront stalking versus reverse sourcing. Check that out. That might help you as well. But what's my advice? It's just a speed. Do it fast. Go. Two things. When you're doing reverse sourcing, especially if you're doing it in regards to storefront stalking, don't worry too much about not finding product. What you're really looking for are what are the suppliers that keep coming up. Even if the products are out of stock, these are the suppliers where the prices are right, and then you want to keep searching those suppliers normally for the items that are in stock. So it's a learning process as well. Hope that makes sense. My God, I've got to go faster. I've got 18 minutes. Is your daily lead list for UK active? Yes, it is. You can sign up, fasttrackfba.com/leads. Can I sign up for that? Yes, you can. I've sent an email and asked a question, but I didn't get any reply. Oh, I'm sorry. Just go onto our website, fasttrackfba.com. There's a little chat window. You can talk in there. Yeah, it is open. And USA. Next one, Amit. Most of products which I found on website are selling by Amazon. Also, what should we do in these conditions? Can we also sell on Amazon at the same time? How often do you make a bundle to escape Amazon list? You are right. Amazon will be on a lot of the listings. Also, as well, you can sell on them. I recommend checking out my Keeper Advanced, I think it's intermediate or advanced playlist or video. I talk about how to see if Amazon's sharing and also what price they share at. So you want to understand that. There's another one called like 3 ways to see if Amazon's sharing the buy box. I think that's another video I created. A lot of time you probably just skip it. I think 20% of our listings have Amazon on them. Don't quote me on that one. And then, but most sellers generally try and avoid Amazon. And then the other one, do you often make bundles to escape Amazon things? No, we don't. We just, oh my God, there's so many products in Amazon, you can do it without it. I know what you mean. It's hard. It's frustrating, but no, short answer. Right. What is the best Amazon arbitrage tool according to you? Wow. Well, I'd go with Keeper. Actually, I wouldn't. I do love Keeper. I think it's amazing. But you're looking for the sourcing tools, like SAS Buybot Pro, FBA Multi-Tool, Ace and Zen, all those. Why? Because they all use the Keeper data in their version of the graph. So you're pretty much getting the same thing. So if I could only have one tool, I'd use a calculator tool. That's it, because it just speeds it up. And they're now to a good enough standard that the Keeper charts are pretty much on point. They're not as good as Keeper, but they are pretty much where they need to be able to make a very good buying decision. So if I had to choose one, I'd choose a sourcing calculator tool. Hope that makes sense. Claire, is it possible to start FBA with 20k capital? Yes. Yeah, and you'd be way ahead of a lot of other people. If you want my advice, top tip, put 19k of it somewhere else, start with 1k, do what you can for 3 months with 1,000. And by the end of the 3 months, you want to be able to show, and I mean show, not think, but I mean show at an accounting level, not like, hey, I've got some really nice green or yellow bar. I mean, you've got a full P&L with an accounts in your Xero or QuickBooks, whereby you have shown a profit in your business. And the moment you can show a profit in your business, and the moment you understand that process, then sure, put the rest of the money in. But I promise you this, and I made the same mistake as well, and I've seen it time and time again. You think because you've got more money, you are going to be able to get this business growing faster. And you are right if you know what you're doing. But 9 times out of 10, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to do a learning curve. So my advice to you would be, do it with a micro amount. Even if you make £1 profit in the end of 3 months, fantastic. You now know how to make a profit. And now you know that if you put the rest of the money in, you now know what you're doing. But I've seen it too many times, and myself, I've done it. We put in lots of money, call it £10,000, and then all of a sudden, after 1 year, we get the P&L, and we're like, what? I've not made any money. How? I've got so many nice orange bars. This is a trade business. You can lose money very, very easily. There's a lot of component parts. Test it with 1,000, then put the rest of it in, and you're happy. Make the profit at the accounts level. Not even like sell a toolkit, but like get your accountant, pay them more money after 3 months. Can you tell me, have I categorically made money? Because you are risking £19,000 on that one question, and it's worth paying just to get that question answered. Then you have the confidence, you know what you're doing. Because if they come back to you and say, no, you're not making money, you're like, whoa, I'm not putting the other 19 in, I'm going to get this 1,000 to work. It's going to be annoying, it's going to be hell, and you'll want to make it work. But trust me, as the Marines say, slow is steady, steady is fast. Go slow to start with. Hope that makes sense. Hassan, sounds good. What is your plan to tackle the language barrier in Germany, especially with suppliers? Do you need to have an LTD? We are looking to an LTD. It's called a GmbH, I think it is, in Germany. Really weird requirements for it. So I'll do a video on it. We've really researched it. But we'll do a GmbH, which is like their version of LTD. Language barrier, we're looking for a German-speaking VA. Not really having much luck. But I think also Google Translate will be quite useful. Watch this space. We will find out. But yeah, we'll see. Good question. I don't know the answer. When I know the answer, I'll let you know. Max, I'm from the UK, and I'd like to know what is better, wholesale, private label, online arbitrage if I had 4K. Max, I'm going to be honest with you. I'll give you what my thoughts are, but I'm going to tell you I can't honestly give you the proper answer to that because I only do one of those three models, and I'm not in a position of telling you what you should and shouldn't do because I cannot tell you from personal experience. And again, I can't tell you what to do and shouldn't do, nor can I give you my personal experience because I've not done it. First things first, we're just starting wholesale. I have done wholesale before, but it is hard. It does take quite a bit of money to start. 4K, you'd be fine on wholesale, but it will take a while, not a problem. Private label, 4K is probably about the minimum you want to get started in private label. The big problem you get right now with private label, if you're going to do your research into it, is about ranking your product. How do you do that? You get people buying it, and how do you do that? Well, you need to get reviews, and you need to get people looking at your product to improve the sales rank. And how do you do that? You do that through, right now, pretty much PPC spend. There's going to be a lot of other people talking about other stuff, and like they know better than I do. But my understanding is that you need to do PPP spend. PPC spend, get it right, Tom. And that costs money. So you're not only going to spend 4K on product, but you also, that 4K is going to have to cover the cost of spend to get the product ranking. And then your other problem is that once it's starting to spend, you've then got to go buy more product to get it shipped into the Amazon to have it there when it needs to be, so that the 4K might not be enough. That's just my thoughts. I don't know. I do online arbitrage. 4K, you could start with online arbitrage. You could start with 1,000 and just test the model and then put the other three in, just like I talked about. I think, you know, for me, on a low budget, if you're going to go out and do like retail arbitrage, you could turn that 4K quite quick. You could even use a small fraction of it. You could. Here's the thing. You could go right now, use 4K, put 1,000 of it into online arbitrage or retail arbitrage. You could then learn the process of Amazon, the buy box, you know, keeper, what do they all say? Yeah, make some losses in like some products, lose some products, doesn't really matter. If it's only a couple of £100, it's not the end of the world. Learn the process and then say, sell out my stock, get the original 4K back in 3 months' time, and then reevaluate, do I want to do wholesale P&L or arbitrage? I appreciate right now you're like, I want to start a business, I want to make money, I want to do stuff, but don't run, don't go too fast. Take it a step at a time, learn what you need to learn, make informed decisions. Trust me, the last thing you want to do right now is go jump into like the wrong product or the wrong business model, and then 2 years later you look at someone else who started at the same time with less money and they've like done 10x your revenue, like damn, I should have done what they're doing. Slow is steady, steady is fast. Honestly, I cannot stress that enough. You know, if it was me, I'd do online arbitrage. That's what I do now. Yeah. Let's carry on. I recently started online arbitrage in the UK, but it looks difficult to find deals. I can only find £200 worth of good deals in a week. Even if I want to spend 1K on good deals, I can't find it. No. Keep searching. It's hard. And top tip for you, it's going to be hard. Like, my God, if you've just started online arbitrage and you came back to me and said, "Hi Tom, I just started online arbitrage. I found £1 million worth of good deals. Where can I get more money?" And I'd be like, damn, this online arbitrage model is way too easy. Someone's spending, like, they're looking for like 30% ROI and they can find £1 million in 1 week on their own. Like, you'd be like remortgaging your house and putting it in Amazon and doing it all. And you just like, my God, there's so much money to be made. And what you've got to understand is we work in a market economy. The market would see that opportunity and they would do exactly the same thing. So what do we see is that actually there's a kind of balance, i.e. where there's too much opportunity, lots of money flows in. And what happens is because the money flows into the opportunity, then the opportunity starts decreasing. So what you are seeing right now is that, yeah, it's hard, but your skill set isn't very good because you've only just started. People who are doing, like, you know, I'm not saying I'm good at sourcing, but my sources are really good. They've been doing it for like, you know, months, years. They're doing it 8 hours a day non-stop, and they will find more than £200 in a good week. I promise you that. But I think, you know, the question is, it's going to take time. Like anything, it's going to take time. Right, just keep going, keep going. After Amazon terms and conditions 2019 change, we can't exclude results that Amazon on it in a searching with software. Oh wow, interesting. Does that mean it will allow manual sourcing? No, my God, you like okay. I don't know about Amazon terms and conditions in 2019, but what I do know is that if you are going to see a whole list of search results, you can have a quick look at the graph, and if you see like an orange line on the graph, that means Amazon's on it. Keep going down to the next one. Just keep scrolling through. No orange line. That looks good. Cool. Load that up. Fine. You're doing a manual filter, not an automatic one. So I really get that. Does that mean we can rely on manual sourcing? Well, if you want to do manual sourcing, you can. But also, you can manually filter the results from the software. Cool. Let me go through. I've got about 9 minutes, guys, and things are coming in, so I'm going to go faster. Thank you very much, by the way. I'm really happy. Like, lots of people, lots of kind of people talking, lots of questions. So thank you. Do you have a list of wholesalers and distributors that approved in the UK? No, I don't. And also as well, just a quick thing, you get a lot of people like selling lists of wholesalers and distributors. Again, the same with sourcing software. Like if you're going out there and buying a wholesale list, how do you know that 1,000 other people don't have that same list, and that same wholesaler on that same list has now got 1,000 new Amazon sellers? Just be mindful. Like you can buy these lists; they do exist. You know, they're out there in a lot of the groups. But I'd just be like, by buying them, you're naturally going to somewhere where there's going to be lots of increased competition. Top tip, and I know you're going to hate it because you want to shortcut the process. Learn to do it yourself. Learn to find those things, and then when you do find those wholesalers and distributors that approve, don't tell anyone, because the moment you tell someone else, they're going to tell someone else and tell someone else, and before you know it, you've got 5,000 people in the same wholesale. I hope that makes sense. What do you think of hiring a VA from Fiverr or something like that? I'm going to do a video on it. Look, don't get me wrong, there are going to be good VAs in Fiverr, of course. I'd be lying to say there weren't, but personally, two things. Forget their skill set, forget all of that. At a very fundamental level, what's the biggest problem we have? You find a VA, and what do? They give you the deals, and then what are you worried about? They're giving the same deals to other people. Let's say, for example, you pay them, I don't know, they're a great deal. They're like $200 a month. They're giving you 10 deals a day. Well, hey. How do you know those 10 deals aren't going to 10 other people? And that guy's making $2,000 a month now. Very easy to do with just information. Now, your short answer is you cannot stop that. You cannot stop it. It's just information. They can copy and paste it. It will happen. But at a very fundamental level, what you're looking at is you need to hire a team whereby they feel incentivized, rewarded, and not want to share that information. And because of that, you are going to protect that information they're finding, i.e. the deals, and then you're going to have less competition. So by the very nature of Fiverr, they are used to reselling their services, and what they identify is that they can sell the service to you and someone else. It makes no extra effort, but they make 2, 3, 4, 10 times the amount of profit. So at a fundamental level, just the way it works, I'd say no. But I hope that makes sense. Dan, how do you do your monthly stock valuation reconciliation in your accounts? Do you use your end of month stock fixed SDK, or do you include purchase? Great. I just recorded a video on this for our VA Academy this weekend. Okay, fundamental level. We don't do it in SDK. We don't. SDK is great, but what you've got to realize is the way SDK works and all these software is they're really, really good. But what do? Let's say, for example, I start with 10 coffee cups with some coffee in. Say, for example, I start 10 coffee cups. And then I make, at the beginning of the month, and then I make 5 sales. At the end of the month, I'd assume I'd have 5 left. So SDK and all these softwares, they work by opening inventory minus sales equals closing inventory, which is absolutely fine. There's no problem about that. But let's say, for example, one got nicked and one got broken. Well, SDK wouldn't know that unless I told it. Now, sometimes when stuff gets stolen, I don't know it's been stolen. So I would never identify that there might be a loss of 1 cup in my product. If a cup was $100, now I might have made $100 profit that month. I just lost $100 worth of stock, so I'm net zero. So that's why we don't do it through this kind of software, because they take it from sales. We do it a slightly different way. So what do? At the end of every month, we do a stock close. So the stock close of each month is the opening stock for the next month. So we take the opening stock, let's call it 10 cups. Then what we do is we add in our purchases. So say, for example, in that month, I purchased 5 more. And then so at the end of the month, I should have 15, but maybe I do a stock inventory and I only have 9. Now, remember, in that month, I sold 5 cups. So I should have 10 plus 5. That makes 15. I sold 5, so I should have 10 left. But I've just done a stock count and I've only counted 9. What I identified now is that one has gone missing, so I'm going to have to account for that in my accounts. And the net result is that my profit figure is going to have to come down because I've lost money through the value of my stock. So we do it that way, and we do it through zero. So at the fundamental level, every month, closing stock for the month before. We put that into our accounts. The accounts automatically have all the purchases for the month because you're doing it on card, and the accounting software will do that. And then what we do is we put in what's known as a closing stock. And then what do we get? Well, then we get a physical cash value. While I'm talking about cups, we're not too worried about cups. We're worried about the cash of the value of the cups. So we get an opening stock of, call it £10,000. We bought £5,000 worth of stock, and my closing stock is 9,000. So my sales were 5,000. Well, actually, I should have 10,000 left, but I've only got 9,000. So that means £1,000 worth of stock has gone missing. So then it's going to adjust my profitability, my net profits at the end of the year, or the end of the gross profit, by 1,000. And that's going to have an effect. So my cost of goods used, not cost of goods sold, is on Seller Toolkit would be 5,000, but my accounts will show 6 because we lost 1,000, and I can see that variance. And once I identify that variance, then I can start doing more investigations to understand what's going on with my stock. Is my prep center share? Are we poor handling? Is deliveries not turning up, etc.? So we do it at the accounting zero level, not on the SDK. I hope that makes sense. It's quite complex, but that's a very fundamental way we do it. And also when you're looking at your stock, i.e. closing stock and opening stock and those kind of things, you've got to try and think about where the stock is. The stock is in one of 4 places at any one time. In transit to your warehouse, from the supplier to the warehouse. It's in the warehouse, or it's going from the warehouse to Amazon and it hasn't been checked in yet, or it's in Amazon itself. Now you could include the 5th one, coming back from Amazon into your warehouse, which is unfillable, returns, etc. But what you want to do is when you do your end of month closing stock, you find out the cash value of the stock in all those different locations, you add it up, and then it gives you your closing stock. Cool. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Quite complex. People are like, oh, but yeah, very, very important to actually get true profitability figures. Will you have any conferences in CMDX soon? No, I don't. I'm really bad at conferences. But good question. Thank you, Veronica. Yeah, I'm not. We don't really do much Amazon stuff here. There's only like 5 people I know in the Amazon community who do like anything like what I do. That's cool. Veronica, do you recommend do drop shipping? You can do drop shipping on Amazon, but just be very, very careful. You cannot do drop shipping from retailers which have their own branding on the boxes or in the receipts. Read Amazon terms and conditions. 90% of what you know about drop shipping will be against terms of service, and you'll lose your account. Be very careful. Read terms and conditions. Rizzo, Helium 10 and Keeper are mandatory and others are optional. What do you think? No. I don't use Helium 10. We did 2.2 million in the UK last year. So I don't use Helium 10. Keeper, I really like. It isn't mandatory, but I do recommend it. Dan, do you automate your seller feedback requests? No, we don't even bother anymore. We used to do, there's a how to get more seller feedbacks on video on YouTube that I created. It's good for starting using Sellerboard, really like that. But I don't really recommend it. We get enough feedback now. If we had real problems with our seller feedback, our percentage was dropping down, I would probably automate it and do it again, but we don't. I think the worst one we're running at about 95, the other one's 99, so no problem. With what is your bundling strategy? Buy stuff, bundle it together, that's it. And I don't even do any strategy. We just, if it is a bundle on the listing, cool, done. We don't create unique listings. Lots of questions when you visit today. What should be the optimal BSR rank that you intend to sell products? Anything that sells. It could be sales rank under 10,000, or it could be sales rank 250. What I don't care about is how fast the listing is selling. What I care about is how many sales I can get out of that listing. That's what counts. Sales rank sub 10,000, calling it 250 sales per month. Once there's 1 million sellers on that listing, oh my God, I'm not getting involved. Again, just be careful. It's a good guide, but it doesn't mean it's the actual right one. If you want a rough rule of thumb, sub 250 in the US and sub 100,000 in the UK. Rough rule of thumb. Don't exactly hold it. Let's fire through. It's nearly 10 o'clock. I need to be really quick. How many units on average would you say you need to get to ship out the door to make 300k in revenue this year, and how often do I need to sell them to ship them out? 300k in revenue per year. Divide that by, let's call it 12. I'm going to do it by 10. 12 months in the year. Call it 10. 30,000 revenue per month. 30,000 revenue per month. You're going to buy something for $10, so that's 20. So $30,000 would mean £15,000 worth of stock. Go to your what do you call it? You don't need to do that calculation. Go to your business reports. You can look at average cost of units. So take your 300,000, divide it by 12, say like 226,000 a month, and then work out what's your average price per unit. Divide those two numbers together, and it's going to give you how many you need to buy and ship per month to get that figure. Hope that makes sense. I want to be part of this man, Thomas Parkinson, dreaming to join this team. Cool. Thank you very much. You look for jobs, Fast Track FBA jobs. Veronica, do you offer any service to help you understand? Look at the Fast Track FBA 7-day free course. That's the only one, really, and this YouTube Live. Next one, give us an OA lead. Buy my service, and you can have one. Deal. Next one, top 5 tips for online arbitrage, best way to find retailers. Download the top 100 supplier lists, get an online calculator, get Keeper, learn about Keeper, and do it for a whole month without any expectation. 8 hours a day, I promise you, you'll get that. Next one, Ricardo. Hi, Tom. I've been looking into reprices. I tried Be Cool, was a massive fan. We use Seller Toolkit. Just go to fasttrackfba.com/tools. You'll see all the tools we use, what we recommend. There's some like affiliate links there, so I do get paid, but also as well, like you get extended trials and money off. So do look at that. fasttrackfba.com/tools, UTOOLS, and you can see all the ones. They're all, I talk about them, like why we like them. Have a look at that. Dan, have you built a business website for Shopify Store Show? No. We're in the process of doing it, but no, don't need it. Ben Bumbo, is netting 5 figures in profit a month? Is netting 5 figures in profit or 6 figures a year with only? Yeah, we do it. We do it fine now, like absolutely fine. We did 400,000 in revenue in December, and we came out just shy of 10%. So you're talking like £38,000 net profit in 1 month. So yeah, fine, like really, really fine. And then you've got like cash back as well. So absolutely fine. Don't worry about it. But it can be done. Leo A. So I started with the idea of doing P&L, started OA, and haven't looked back. Now joined the FBA to get the scale more to go over the, oh my god, there's going to be a really cool video coming out from Dan Gilmore. I interviewed him. He stayed under the 85k mark. And then he hired he got a baby and he had to go over the 85k mark. He did this exact thing where you're talking about now. Admittedly, he's doing OA, and he talked about the whole thing. Wait, watch that video. It's going to come out probably like in the next like week or two. Daniel Gilmore. It's 2 years on. He stayed under the 85 purposely, super profitable. Now he went over it and he explains why and what he did and a lot of common misconceptions. I think you're going to love it. It's a really good interview. What would you say is a good profit per unit? Ones that make money? It's up to you. I don't look at per unit. I look at just like ROI across the whole portfolio, what we're doing in products. You're going to lose money per 1 unit. It doesn't matter. Well, hey, we got another spam. Thank you very much. Hashtag USA, can you please recommend a prep center to use? Not yet. The current prep center we're currently using is having real problems, and the one we just signed up to again is we just signed up, so I can't recommend. So sorry. Have a quick look. Just Google it. There's thousands of them. Dan Smith, hashtag no spam. Thanks, Dan. You're the best. Max, thanks. And how would I find products online arbitrage? Go to Fast Track FBA YouTube channel, look for playlists, look for sourcing, and that will help you find products. Simple. Can you release a dedicated video on the closing and opening stock reconciliation with examples? My God, Dan, that's going to be. We will, but we need to get it done for the VA Academy course first, and it's not easy. It's really, really hard. I think, don't quote me, I think it was like 2 hours of videos for the VA Academy we had to create for our new admin VA course I recorded this weekend. It's not simple. Like, hopefully I kind of explained it there, but there's a really defined process you have to go through. Yeah, we will, but it's not going to be anytime soon. I'm sorry, Dan. Sorry. I know you've been really good at spam filtering earlier on, so thank you. Or Dan. That's Dan Smith. Sorry, that's another Dan. Summer, sir, applied your job. When's the interview will start? Wait for your emails. We'll tell you then. We're going to go through really quick. Sir, you are so passionate about your work. What's the secret? Just love what you do. Learn to love what you do and then just do it more. That's it. Bembo, thanks. Cool. Leah is Dan Gilmore. Gillmor. I think it's MOI. Just type it in Fast Track FBA YouTube. Just type Fast Track FBA Fast Track FBA and then Daniel. It could be Daniel Gilmore. And you'll see the original interview. The new one hasn't come out yet. It will do soon. So make sure you're subscribed. Next one. What qualities must a VA have? I'd probably say the ability to learn and the fact that they have good English skills so you can communicate, and and just keen. That's it. And also as well, I'd probably say they aligned. Like what they want is the same as what you're offering. If they want 100,000 pesos per month and you're only offering 25, it's just not going to work. No matter how nice you are, it ain't going to work. So make sure you're aligned. Last question for the day: what advice can you give regarding stock never running out of inventory? It's going to happen. Stop setting unrealistic expectations. Now start asking the question: how can I maintain as much stock in my inventory at all as optimal as possible? We all run out of inventory. Amazon is proof of that, and they are far better than I am. They do run out of stock, so don't assume that you can never run out. It's not a problem. Last one: when you started e-commerce, I mean, which year? 2017, I think. I think it's 5 years ago. Done. Right. Thank you. Everyone said thank you, super informative. Dan, you are a star. I'm going to finish it there. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a real pleasure. I'll see you same time next week. Stay safe, keep smashing your Amazon business, and hopefully you'll smash it and I'll come see you for margaritas in Mexico. Bye.